So today we're looking at Gentle Cream OC-96 by Benjamin Moore. Like every good paint color, it comes with its own little description on the company website. And this color is described as a pleasing bisque that adds just the right amount of warmth and depth to a space. So if you don't know what hue is, it just means color. Also known as 1066 or CC-140, whichever color code you use out of the three we just mentioned, it's going to be the same color. You also may know it as a color called Barely Beige, which again, it's the same color. Benjamin Moore, you little trickster, you. I don't actually know why there's two names for it. Maybe it's like region-based. Research Smeeshers, that's what I always say. Today's video is all about Gentle Cream and all the details you'll need to know if you're thinking of using it in your home. I also got some color pairings that you can use alongside it in different rooms or even the same space within your home, so you're well equipped to kick some interior decorating butt. Is my video gonna get flagged for saying B-U-T-T? Guess we'll find out. Oh yeah, and I'll give you some trim options as well if you want to paint your baseboards, your woodwork in general, doors and frames, all that jazz. Let's do this. Even though it's a bit confusing, I think it's kind of helpful that this color has two different names because it tells us what it's all about. It's a cream, but gentle. It's beige, but barely. Both of these descriptions describe it pretty well because being the light neutral that it is, it's soft, gentle, and barely noticeable, I guess. I'm just kidding. It's a good color, especially nowadays with warm colors roaring back into the mainstream. Gentle Cream is a pretty solid option, although maybe a bit of a simple option at the same time. Its LRV is around 71, which means it's a lighter color. Not really a true off-white necessarily for me, because it has enough color in it to distinguish itself clearly from stark white, for example. Undertones wise, it does contain warmth, specifically coming from yellow and maybe a bit of a tiny warm brown mixed in as well. But I guess that Gentle Cream aspect comes into play because creams typically do contain a bit of yellow and maybe a bit of orange at times. So you have that yellow in Gentle Cream, and then that little bit of brown just pacifies that creaminess and makes it a bit more tame, tones it down, and therefore it becomes gentler. It's a solid choice for a main color all over your home, or at least in the main parts of your home, if you're looking for a lighter neutral. It'll add a cozy kind of base or foundation to your color palette. It also does a serviceable job at catering to several different design styles, whether you're into Scandi or coastal or even grainy chic, you can make it work. I think it's a color that I typically like to dress up, I would say, with accessories and artwork and just cool things in my house, or with other hues surrounding it. And guess what? I got 3 colors for you to use with Gentle Cream, and also 2 trim colors to paint your baseboards and your woodwork with. Number 1 is Carob, which is a rich mahogany brown from the Affinity Color Collection. It's a color that gives you this very mature feeling coloration, but at the same time, it does fit seamlessly against that very soft cream color we've been talking about. It's also a great dark color choice for the secondary rooms in your home that get a decent amount of lighting. Because of how dark it is, it will make a statement. It's gonna pop and be noticed, especially compared to off-white, but because it's brown based, it's not really gonna stand out like a sore thumb either. It's not ochre or chartreuse that's like there for everyone to see. Carob, it's like there, but you know, it's chilling, just hanging out. It's not trying to pull too much focus. You know what I mean? I hope. The second color is Melted Ice Cream. What a shame. Who let that ice cream melt, huh? This is a lighter alternative to Gentle Cream, and it abandons a soft beige for a powdery pinky gray. Quite a different feel altogether, but to me, it feels a little more buoyant and alive. Perhaps a bit more youthful as well. It's also a bit lighter in general, which may sound like a good thing, but I need to remind you, whenever you have light colors, they can wash out if you get a lot of light on them. So you may not see that pink quality in it at all if you have a ton of windows or some really awesome overhead lighting kind of illuminating everything. But I wanted to add this one in for any of you that wanted another light color to take things in a different direction. Coventry Gray is the third color, and it's marketed as a medium gray with relatively neutral undertones. And while I agree with this on a technical level, in practicality, this is a gray that does favor the blue side of things. Maybe a touch of green as well. If If you're familiar with colors like Stonington Gray and Wickham Gray, Coventry Gray is cut from the same cloth, and I believe they're on the same color chip as well. And because it's the darkest of the three, its saturation will be that much more apparent to you. You'll see the undertones a lot easier in my opinion. But I think it's an interesting choice to switch things up in the palette, both in terms of being the only true mid-tone or middle color in terms of darkness, but also clearly being the chilliest color of the bunch. It's gold. Let's get the trim colors done, and I must admit, I normally love to recommend a light and a dark trim color, but I think in this video, I really like my light color choice, and then I kind of like my dark color choice. So let's start with my second favorite, which is Hillcrest Tan. And I think it's a solid choice because you can interpret it as an amplification or a much darker version of Gentle Cream in a kind of a weird way, where you have that slightly creamy, kind of brown beige thing evolving into a much richer brown tan color with a gold undertone happening. I also wanted to include it because you could use it as a warmer alternative to that wall color carob we talked about earlier. So depending on anything else that's in your space, maybe a more yellow undertone brown tan like this would suit you better. But if I had to pick a solid light baseboard color, or just a baseboard color in general, it would be Simply White. Simply put, because it's clean and bright and it'll pop off those lighter colors and really be accentuated with those darker colors. It also has a bit of that yellow warmth, just like Gentle Cream. So here's the palette all together. Let me know what you think. And here's another palette for your enterpaintment. That line is sticking, okay? Take it or leave it.